hell of a, she's so fine. Hell of a, blows my mind. Hell of a, lights my day.
What's good, guys? Today is Tuesday, August the 4th, 2020. And as I was up reading the Chicago Tribune this morning, I roll across this article and I wanted to share it. It says, Police. Suspect in custody in shooting death of 9-year-old. Janari Ricks killed by gunfire while playing with friends on near North Side. We'll come back to the images. Article was wrote by Jeremy Gorner of the Chicago Tribune. A suspect has been taken into custody in the shooting death of 9-year-old Janari Ricks, a fourth grader who was gunned down on the near North Side last week while playing with friends, according to Chicago police. Chief of Detectives Brendan Denahan said charges were pending approval by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Janari was playing behind the Cabrini Green row houses in the 900 block of North Cambridge Avenue when a gunman fired into a parking lot around 6:45 p.m. Friday, police said. Quote, the young boy is playing out there, not doing anything wrong, as the defendant drives up, kind of sneaks through like the cut of a gangway, and then he discharges a firearm, not at this kid, at a group of other males who are standing near the poor boy, end quote. Denahan said at a news conference a few blocks from where Janari was killed. Quote, and unfortunately, as the bullets are flying, it's the 9-year-old who is shot and killed, he said, and then this defendant makes good his escape, end quote. The boy's mother, Jaleesa Ford, said she was inside her home when she heard about the shooting from a neighbor. She said she ran to the parking lot and saw Janari on the ground. Quote, I was talking to him, just talking to him, end quote, Ford said. The number of shooting victims younger than 10 years old is 3 times what it was last year, according to Tribune data. 24 children, 10 years old and younger, have been shot in Chicago, 5 of them fatally, as of the end of July, according to a database of shooting victims kept by the Tribune. The 2019 total during the same time period was 8. Quote, Janari Andre Ricks, a bright, beloved, athletic, soon-to-be 4th grader who loved math and basketball, was just 9 years old when he was shot and killed, while doing what every child in our city should be able to do without a second thought, Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown said at the news conference outside the Near North District Station. And now, instead of planning for a future, Janari's parents are arranging their child's funeral, end quote. Brown said the arrest highlights the importance of the police and the community working together. Quote, all communities are not trusting in the same way. Many communities lack trust completely that we have to build from ground zero, said Brown. But communities like this, they felt comfortable coming forward with information almost immediately where we were able to solve this crime, end quote. Alderman Walter Burnett, whose 27th ward covers the Cabrini Green row houses, said people involved in the incident have known one another's families for about 50 years, but he insisted that those responsible for the shooting do not, quote, live there anymore, end quote. Quote, stop coming over to the neighborhood and doing your dirt, the alderman said. Do dirt where you live, or don't do dirt at all, but stop coming to the row houses and doing things. The people in the row houses are just trying to survive, just trying to live, just trying to raise their family, end quote, Burnett continued. Asked about what the shooter and intended target were doing at the row houses, Burnett said, quote, whatever they was doing, they didn't have no business doing, end quote. Whether it was drug trafficking or gangbanging or whatever the case may be, they didn't have any business being over there doing it, Burnett said. It's unfortunate that people try to take advantage of people that know them by doing stuff around them and don't know that they put people in jeopardy when they do that. And that's why, unfortunately, we have a young person that's deceased right now because of that, end quote. Now let's go back up to these images. All right, so that is the 9-year-old's mother, Jaleesa Ford, putting flowers out on the memorial. Oh, that's just heartbreaking. And on the left is Janari Ricks. It says Jaleesa Ford makes a memorial for her 9-year-old son, Janari Ricks, at the Cabrini Green townhomes Saturday. Photo is courtesy of Armando L. Sanchez, the Chicago Tribune. And then it says Ford holds a photo of herself with Janari, who was fatally shot the previous day while playing. Oh man, that's hard. But it doesn't say who this person in custody is. This article is from the Chicago Sun-Times, and it shows the conference that they had where they were discussing all this, and that is Chicago Superintendent David Brown at the podium. This is another picture of Janari Ricks. What a sweet little face. In this article, it says he was taken to Lurie Children's Hospital where he was pronounced dead an hour later. So that's a little different too. It didn't really go into that in the Tribune. And this is an image of Alderman Walter Burnett. This article also says that CPD Superintendent David Brown said Monday he would not be surprised if the suspect had a lengthy criminal background. But despite having access to the suspect's arrest report, Brown declined to discuss the suspect's criminal history until charges were approved. And this is the police investigating the scene where Janari was shot. The 900 block of North Cambridge, near the former site of the Cabrini Green housing projects. And that picture is courtesy of Tyler La Riviere. It goes on to say Brown also said that the arrest in the case could serve as an example to other parts of the city where police and community relations are frayed. It says Wallace, quote, Gator, end quote, Bradley, and Andrew Holmes, I think we all know that name, were among the community activists who met with residents in Cabrini Green over the weekend to encourage them to give up the shooter. Someone even posted a photo of the suspect on social media in an effort to have him arrested. Bradley, head of United in Peace and a former gang enforcer, said he's been stressing that anyone who shoots a senior citizen, woman, or child should be ostracized, something he calls, quote, the code, end quote. Quote, we are not vigilantes, but these guys need to be brought to justice for what they're doing, he said, referring to the 24 young children shot, 5 fatally this year in Chicago. It says by Saturday, a memorial had grown up along the same block where Janari had lived. Neighbors and friends brought 2 basketballs, a football and stuffed animals, some lit candles. Others tied balloons on a metal fence. Janari's beloved hoverboard, a present on his last birthday, was placed on the ground in front of the memorial. On Monday, Pastor Donovan Price added a white wooden cross. It had been made by Greg Zanis before Zanis died earlier this year. Over more than 20 years, Zanis had made and delivered thousands of crosses for homicide victims in Chicago and elsewhere. And if you've never read the story of him, it is really an interesting one to read. If you just type in Greg Zanis, or if someone's interested, I wouldn't mind to share the story. It's a very interesting story of how he even got started making these crosses. His mother, Jaleesa Ford, said her son was a straight A, quote, honor roll, end quote, student entering 4th grade at Ruben Salazar Elementary School. There's the cross and the memorial. Here's another image. This is also from the Sun-Times. It says, killed while playing outside, 9-year-old Janari Ricks had plans to, quote, rebuild the community, end quote, mom says. Quote, he was in the house all day yesterday. He didn't come out until 5 o'clock, his mother said with tears in her eyes. And he came out to play with his friends, and my baby never been able to make it back home, end quote. This article was wrote by Madeline Kinney with the Chicago Sun-Times on August the 1st, 2:27 p.m. It says Janari Ricks was known to have a football in one hand and a basketball in the other, his family and friends said. He had aspirations to be a professional basketball player and called himself, quote, young Curry, end quote, a nod to his favorite basketball player, Stephen Curry. If he wasn't able to pursue his dreams of becoming an athlete, he wanted to do construction, Ford said. He wanted to help rebuild the community, rebuild something that the kids can enjoy later down the line. It's gone. It's taken away, end quote. She said she was in the bathroom when she heard banging on the door. Quote, they told me my son was shot, and I go to the scene and my son is laying there hopeless, gone, end quote. She said a day after the near North Side attack. Janari's father, Raymond Ricks, said he had just boarded a plane to Atlanta when he heard the news. Quote, I had to stop the plane, end quote, Raymond said. This picture says Barbara Stevenson, 52, and her husband Michael, 52, walked to a memorial for 9-year-old Janari Ricks on the near North Side Saturday afternoon. A memorial for 9-year-old Janari Ricks is seen in this photo on the near North Side Saturday afternoon. There's his hoverboard, plus his heart. And that's a picture of him and his mom. Thing says, long live Nari. That's a picture of him and his dad over in the lower right corner. But you can't hardly see it too good. There's the picture. So, yeah, I was trying to find something on the suspect, but apparently they're not going to say anything until they decide to file the charges, rather. So I will be covering that once that happens. But I just wanted to bring this article to you guys. It seems like they put a little more personalization into this article. You know, these are real people. These are children. And, you know, I don't know what the solution is. I really don't. I don't have an answer. But it is terrible. It's terrible. And I'm working on a much bigger video than I posted yesterday. This is going to be, I'm hoping it's not, but I think it's going to be rather lengthy. But I'm probably going to be working on that most of the day today. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys because it was definitely worth talking about the memory of this kid, Janari Ricks. Thanks, guys.